Charlotte just hit 13,082 homes for sale, the most inventory we've seen in years, and homes are now sitting 47 days on average. So why did prices still go up? That's the question nobody's answering straight, and the answer changes what you should do next, whether you're buying or selling. Stay to the end because I'm going to break down the one number in this report that tells you more than the median price ever will. And most people have never heard of it. I'm Evie DeJesus, Realtor here in Charlotte, and every month I break down exactly what's happening in this market with real data. If that's the kind of information you want, hit subscribe so you don't miss next month's report. Here's what June actually looked like. The median sales price in the Charlotte region came in at $416,893. That's up 0.5% from June of last year. That's 0.5%. That's a market holding its ground. But here's where it gets a little interesting. The average sales price rose to $552,988. That's up 3.7 year over year. When the average climbs 3.7% while the median barely moves, that tells you the upper end of this market is still transacting with strength. Bigger homes, higher price points. That segment is pulling the average up while the middle of the market stays flat. Let me break down what that actually means for you. If you own a home in that upper price range, buyers at your price point are still active and still paying. Your segment didn't cool off the way the headlines suggest. So if you've been waiting for the right moment to list, the demand is there. Now, if you're buying in the middle of the market, that $350,000 to $450,000 range, flat prices mean sellers can't count on appreciation to bail them out of an overpriced listing. You can negotiate on price. You can ask for closing costs and take your time comparing homes because the data says the pressure is on their side, not yours. Now, which one are you? Now, and think about that because everything else in this report lands differently depending on your answer. Now, let's talk inventory because this is the story of the summer. 13,082 homes on the market. That's up 5.6% from last year. New listings hit 5683 in June. That's up 3%. And here's the number that surprised me. Pending sales jumped 8.7% to 4201. So more homes came on the market and buyers stepped up and grabbed them. This is not a market where buyers disappeared. This is a market where buyers finally have options. And guess what? They're using them. Closed sales came in at 4,304, up just 0.2% from last year. So closings barely moved, but contracts being signed right now surged almost 9%. And those contracts become the closings that you'll see in the July and August numbers. The second half of 2026 is loading up right now. Here's where sellers need to pay attention. Days on market until sale hit 47 days. Last June, it was 43 days. That's a 9.3% increase in how long homes are sitting. And sellers are receiving 96.3% of their original list price. That's slightly down from 96.5%. Translation, buyers are negotiating again and they're winning more often. So the take it or leave it era is over, sellers. Buyers are asking for concessions. They're asking for repairs. They're asking for closing cost help, and they're getting it. So if you're selling this fall and you price off emotion instead of what buyers are actually paying today, you're going to be the listing that sits at day 60 wondering what happened. Price and condition decide everything in this market. I mean, everything. So if you're a homeowner here in Charlotte and you're thinking about selling in the next 6 to 12 months, this is the moment for a real conversation with me about your home, your goals, and what's actually happening on your street, not your zip code, your street. My number and booking link are right below. Now, the number I promised you, months supply of inventory. Charlotte is sitting at 3.6 months. Last year it was 3.5. Here's why this number matters more than price. Months supply tells you how long it would take to sell every home on the market if nothing new got listed. Under 4 months has historically favored sellers. Around 5 to 6 months is a balanced market. We are drifting towards balance for the first time in years. Slowly, but the direction is unmistakable. That's why prices are flat. That's why homes are sitting longer, and that's why buyers are negotiating. One number explains the entire report. 3.6 months supply of inventory. Remember that. Now let's talk rates, because I know you guys are watching them. As of late July, the 30-year fixed is sitting around 6.75%, and the 15-year is around 6.125%. Rates dipped near 6% earlier this year, and then they climbed right back up. Redfin is forecasting the 30-year to average 6.3% for 2026, down from 6.6% average in 2025. And Zillow's position is that rates are unlikely to drop below 6% this year at all. So if your plan is to wait for 4.5% to come back, that's not a plan. That's a pause with no end. The smarter move is to buy when the numbers work for your life and refinance if rates fall later on. So what does this all mean for you? If you're buying, you have more homes to choose from, more negotiating power, and sellers who are listening. That combination has not existed in Charlotte in years. And if rates dip again, the crowd comes back and this window tightens fast. Now, if you're selling, you can absolutely win in this market, but the margin for error is gone. Pricing right from day one, presenting the home properly, and negotiating strategically is the difference between selling in 3 weeks and sitting for 3 months. If you're planning a move to Charlotte, buying your first home, or thinking about selling, and you're not already working with an agent, let's talk about your specific situation and build a real strategy around it. Call or text me at the number on your screen, or book a call directly using the link in the comments or the description. I'm Evie DeJesus, and I'll see you next month with the July numbers. Later, y'all.